You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Eleanor Roosevelt. This quote describes that courage is doing something you don't want to do or doing something that you're afraid of, but saying that's okay and sticking with it. And in many of the literature circle books that you guys read this quarter, your characters had to display bravery. They had to do something they didn't want to do. Maybe they were afraid. Maybe it could have ended their lives or someone's close to them, but they still did it. So what you are going to do is, using a character from your lit circle book, summarize two situations in which this character demonstrates bravery or courage. Remember that courage can be both physical or mental. So you are going to be you're going to be starting a literary analysis using courage as our prompt, because that is something that most characters in literature display. That's a theme that we can all relate to. I'm sure there's times where you've had to be brave and do something you didn't want to do. So I have included a little outline that you were going to fill out about your character. So first thing you're going to do is write down your character's name. I'm going to have you just choose one character. So a situation in which your character was brave, in your own words, a quote from the book to support this, and then why this shows bravery. So if you come up here, I filled one out for you using Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. So I'm just going to walk you through how I did it, and then you're going to do the same thing for yours. So my character is Katniss Everdeen. My example one was a situation where she was brave, and note that it's about 1 to 2 sentences. It doesn't have to be super long. Katniss demonstrated bravery when she volunteered as tribute in place of her sister Prim. It's easy peasy. All I did was say when she was brave. I didn't explain why. I didn't explain what courage it took. I just said, here's when she was brave. Next, a quote from the book to support this that stands by what you said. Prim, the strangled cry comes out of my throat and my muscles begin to move again. Prim, I reached her just as she was about to mount the steps. With one sweep of my arm, I push her behind me. I volunteer, I guess. I volunteer as tribute. And then I put pages 5 and 6 in parentheses because that's my page number. If you look, you'll see a couple of these period. It goes period, 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 or dot, dot, dot. It's 3 of them. It's called an ellipsis. So it means that there's text there that I'm cutting out and choosing not to use. Otherwise, it would just be way too long of a quote. And that's also 1 to 2 sentences, depending on how long your quote is. Don't make it too long. Now, here's the meat of it. This is why this shows bravery. And this should really be in your own words. I'm going to even make sure I've typed that. So now this is all from Miss Hamilton's mind. The Hunger Games are a competition that end in the death for 23 of the 24 tributes. Katniss has a distinct disadvantage coming from such a poor district, but she doesn't care. She knows that she's stronger and more intelligent than her sister, which means she has a better chance of surviving. However, to Katniss, her survival does not matter. She's only concerned about Prim. She demonstrates extreme courage by putting her sister's life before her own. So I explained the situation in which Katniss demonstrated bravery by volunteering for Prim. I found a quote from the book, and then I explained in my own words why this was brave, why this mattered. Katniss was probably going to die because 23 of 24 tributes die. Statistically speaking, the odds are not in her favor. She's at a distinct disadvantage being from District 12 because they're poor. She doesn't have a lot of training. And then 3, she is brave because Prim most likely would have died. She's so young and she's so weak, but Katniss doesn't care that now Katniss is risking her life because that means Prim gets to live. So you are going to come down here and you're going to do that. So first example would be the first situation. So this would be Katniss is brave by volunteering for Prim. My second situation would be Katniss is brave when she comes up with a plan with Rue to distract the Capitol tributes. And then I would go on and explain that there. So now what you're going to do is choose one character from your book and choose 2 instances in which you were brave. So for most of you, this would be the protagonist, but if you want to challenge yourself, go for it. But go for your protagonist, I would say. So why a situation which they were brave? Again, 1 to 2 sentences, just they were brave because blah, blah, blah. Quote from the book to support this, and then why. And this is in your own words now. Why were they brave? Why did what they did show courage?